Check, 1, 2. Hi everyone. We were going to go live. This is my mother Regan. We lovingly in our family call her Gigi, which she cannot stand as us calling each other Gigi and Jojo. However, here we are. And I was going to go live on our company's Instagram, but Instagram changed the rules, and now you have to have 1,000 followers over there minimally to go live, which we don't yet. So with that, if you aren't following us at the Spiritual Bitch Slap Co., go to the link that I added and follow us over on Instagram, because our goal is not to get 1,000 followers. It's to be able to have epic conversations to wake people the fuck up to the truth of who they really are. This being a quantum queen, a metaphysical genius, a beautiful encyclopedia of wisdom that I've leveraged my entire life, whether I wanted to or not, to continue that journey of waking up. So Mom, say hello to the audience of Jojo Monroe.
Oh, so this is
my Instagram.
Okay, great.
And then I'll somehow figure it out to get it over to ours.
Well, hi guys.
Thank
Thank you so much. This is going to be new and fun and interesting. And no, we don't want 1,000 followers. We want the whole world.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that truly is.
all mamas and entrepreneurs who are really in a space that tenderly know their beauty and that they are to move in a place with ease and grace and total basic trust.
Yeah. And I love that you say basic trust, because we make it so much more complicated than the simplicity of what it
Right.
really is if we truly know.
Well, the field, the infinite field that we all talk about, is made up of the energy of trust and joy and happiness and all the things. And we are the ones that choose to maybe be in a different frequency. So those are the kind of things we're going to talk into, because we really see there's two ways to be in life: in total joy and happiness, or suffering.
Yeah.
And it has to do with the state of consciousness you're living in, whether you are a victim or you're a sovereign, as we call it, a quantum queen. So both are beautiful, because we both weave in and out, right? Until one frequency has raised us to a level where it's more sustainable. And we're just here to really bitch slap you into taking the journey with us.
And ourselves. And
For sure.
I kind of want to start there, because yesterday, maybe it was the day before, I think it was yesterday, I had sat and done a whole like reel or whatever we call it on transitions. And it was really, to me, poignant for something that I'm going through, for the conversations that I have daily with mamas and entrepreneurs, whether it's relationships, whether it's motherhood, family, whether it's business. A lot of people that I communicate with are kind of at that pivotal crux of identity crisis, of everything they did in their 20s leading to their late 30s and 40s. Holy shit, wasn't the answer. And now they're either in career crisis or, pivoting to, maybe they thought they'd have a family by now and they don't. So all these different things and transitions that people are going through, there's a way to do it where it doesn't necessarily have to be painful and it doesn't have to suck. But at the same time, the suck is good, because it's the wake-up call. So I want to have you talk people through maybe the 5 steps before the transition, where things get really juicy, so that we can, I don't know if course correct is the right term, but wake up before the transition happens.
Well, and that's kind of what we were talking about earlier when we were doing a demo. We're trying to figure out how to do this, because Jordy said transitions suck, and let's talk about that. And I said, well, let's back up to how they don't have to suck. And let's back up to, if you are not comfortable with transition, then it's going to be a long life, because all we have is, the only thing that we can count on is change. And the only thing we can count on is transition. And Jordy, I can't remember exactly what you said, but they don't suck. That's the first thing you have to let go of.
Yeah.
They don't suck. They happen for you, not to you. And that's a really cool thing, because when you're a victim, they suck and you think it's happening to you. And when you're in this space of trust, when you're in this space of understanding that you are the power, not the force, you don't have to force anything, but you do have to align and wake up. And as Jordan and I say, remember who you are, because this separate self right? This vehicle, this 3D skin suit that we walk around in is exquisite and it's beautiful and it has a superpower, a goal. And the problem is we tax it with all kinds of things that it's just not capable of doing. And the only superpower that it has is to choose. Do I want to see transitions that suck, that are suck, or do I want to wake up and say, what can I, gradually transition from? This is just absolutely for me.
Well, and what's really cool, so we talk about and David Guillaume, who's a great teacher on the wisdom of Kabbalah, he talks about you're either in one state or another, and the next is inevitable. And the two states that we're either in are, number one, creating the vessel, or number two, living in the miracle. And no matter which state you're in, the next is inevitable if you continue to live in those differentiating states. And so I think that's really important, at least for me, whenever I come up in transition to meeting it as resistance and needing to get on solid ground and think my way. You catch me every time I say it. Okay, we'll just figure it out. Like, that's my phrase. I'll just figure it out. And it's so cerebral and so mental. And, I talk to so many people and we weigh in on, well, worst case scenario, what does that look like, right? We kind of take time in worst case scenario, which is so silly, but sometimes helpful. Or we do pros and cons, and we just constantly default, I think, as a society, as people, to those states as we're going through transition to make decision. And so what I'd love for you to touch on is the vessel, the miracle, and the states of, and this is big. We don't have to go into all of it robustly. This is actually what we do over on the Spiritual Bitch Slap. We go much deeper into these topics, but kind of take people through what the separate self sense is and how we get back to a place of remembrance, and then what that looks like from there to grow the vessel, to then live in the miracle, and to go from our head into our heart. And it's not necessarily just coherence, it's knowing when you're in either place, if that is.
Yeah, because we don't want to take away our humanity, which is very beautiful, and everything. When you're in the dark, it's a time to build your vessel, and when you're in the light, it's a time to just be in gratitude and the all at the same time, in awe and wonder and gratitude. But what will really help with transitions is understanding this process and understanding who we are. Jordy's and my tagline really is, remember who you are. There's a recognition that has to take place. The ego, the last thing it wants to do is die. And we see the ego as something very beautiful. It is not the enemy at all. You cannot go on a path of recognition or a path of awakening unless your ego feels it's safe. And your ego has to tell your subconscious, hey, we're going to do this. And your subconscious is going to put up, and this is what we talk about, self-sabotage when you're on this journey, because it's designed to keep you safe, to keep you alive. And you've never survived maybe joy, a life of, fearless transitioning. Maybe you've never experienced that. And so you're in what we call the problem structure, and all those things Jordy was saying, I got to figure it out. In fact, you were having a kind of a time, I'll bring it up, and if you don't want to, but we were talking, and we always talk about end results, because you guys, we have to understand, we don't create shit. Okay. We don't create shit. Everything's already created in this infinite field of all possibilities. And so we participate in collapsing the wave, so they speak, and bringing it into form. And that's done with our state of being. And it's done with understanding structure, because structure has integrity. And if you want something in the future, but you're doing it to try to resolve something, a problem, right? Then the universe can only hear the problem and will send you more opportunities to resolve them. And so the other night we were trying to get in our end result. We're in a transition with where we're living, and it's really exciting.
First of all, we're in so many transitions. We're in transitions of where we are living. I'll get into that later. We are in transitions with the kids going to new school, starting kindergarten and TK. We are transitions in what we are going to bring forward as a company. We are transitions in my other business in travel as we are expanding globally. There are infinite.
And do not think resistance doesn't come up. The thing is, when you are in this space of knowing who you are and remembering that, you invite it in. You don't let it is just your unconscious saying, I don't know if we've survived being really successful, blah, 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 having this big, beautiful home that we're going to have. And we haven't survived that. And our job, this is why you're so important. This is why this beautiful 3D skin suit is so important, is to tell. It's a software program. You tell your subconscious, darling, it's safe. It's really fucking safe. Because you know what? We have another aspect of conscious called our superconscious. And that's the mind of God, right in every cell in your DNA.
And if, by the way, the God word doesn't work for you, you can use what David Guillen uses, the creator. You can use what spiritual traditions call the universe, the scientists call the quantum field of infinite possibilities. So,
and it's consciousness.
It's pure
consciousness is all there is. Absolutely. And what you are not conscious of, it doesn't exist for you. And so, it's, whatever word you want. I have no problem with words at all because they're really just symbols, right? And I lost kind of my train of thought where I was going with that.
What I'd love for you to take people to, because we say, remember who you are. And this is a perfect transition into what is that? And it's, if you want to go into the spark of the divine, pure creative spirit, God within, literally in the image and likeness of the creator, whoever that is to you.
Well, you're limitless, infinite, and boundless. You are total freedom. You don't want freedom. You are freedom. And if you are in a place like, we were talking about structure and creating.
Yeah.
And if you are trying to resolve a problem, figure it out, then you are in the problem solving structure, and you will only minimally get what you are choosing, and more problems will come. So we were driving home from doing a presentation in Reno, Nevada, and we had this 2-hour long drive, and Jordy and I were talking about all our end results were in this transition period. And Jordan kept adding, it's beautiful. And then she go, and then so he won't have to, or she, and I said, no, Jordy, that's the problem. She goes, well, what's wrong with that? That's a creative structure, creative structure has no, it's just, this is what it's Instagram. I want 1 billion followers. Well, that's really too small. In other words, it's just, hey, or you take away anything that puts a
resolution to a state that is, so like the way I look at it, and tell me if I'm wrong. So it takes it away from the state of, I will be happy when this problem is resolved, when I have more money than I know what to do with, when I have the house, the property of my dreams, when I have my husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, then I will be happy. Then I will. And if it's in a compensatory manner that you are creating, that's one problem structure there. The other is because I don't feel worthy, I don't feel complete, I don't feel whole. And I truly believe on some level that
I don't feel significant. I'm not capable. I'm not perfect. I mean,
these are all the how many constraints did we talk about? 9 or 7? 12.
Oh, there's so many.
And they're sneaky, y'all. They are sneaky constraints. And this is where my mom was kind of catching me do those little sneaky
at the end.
I drop one more thing and it'd be like, you just got out of the beautiful vision.
That's when your subconscious. All it is, it's just trying to keep you safe. And we don't even know aware of it, just in case it doesn't happen, and it's like, no. And how do I know that the infinite field is hearing this? And well, you know what? It just knows. It's a transition from how do I know to it's fucking knows. It just fucking knows. And so it's not the infinite field that needs to shift. We do, know, and that's all we're about, is taking you from that place. Somebody said to me, what do you think hell is? And I said, hell is suffering. And we suffer in smiles all over the place. And suffering is when we are not grounded in the truth of who we are, which is this oneness, this essence. And where Jordy and I talk about that peace is the new high vibe. Peace is your fucking power. And peace means you have coherence. And the coherence is what I am having these thoughts that are totally my end result, right? It's already done. Because again, we're not going to go into it now, but in quantum physics, everything exists as infinite potentiality in a wave function. And when you use your mind, your superpower, your ego to choose to put a point in the field, the wave collapses and it begins to come into form. And what keeps it coming into form is your vision on that end result. And so what Jordy was doing was making all kinds of ways that if it didn't work out, then we could. And then he would, and so those are all the things that stop the collapsing into form. And so the three aspects of mind are very, very important. And I don't know how much we're going to go into them tonight. Well, you mentioned this. I think we're talking about superconscious. That is the infinite field in your mind. That is God. Oh, that's what we were talking about, God. That it is the aspect of your mind that will do it all for you when you stay in this coherent place where peace is your power, right? Because everything is energy. Nikola Tesla told us this. It's energy, it's vibration and frequency. And every cell in your body, right, is listening. And so it's not, of course, you have to take action. We talk about this. You have to be aligned. You have to wake up to the truth of who you are. You have to become aware. You have to have an attention. It's kind of this double witnessing attention, and seeing that this is what I really want, but all these little voices are telling me I can't have it. That's okay. You don't resist that. Resistance is inevitable. You actually welcome it. You hug it. You say, hey, babe, we're going to be safe. This is cool. We are safe. It's not even we're going to be. We're just going to keep clearing away all the bullshit, and the bullshit, we can talk about blaming our parents. We can talk about this. Your soul came here with all kinds of constraints because this is the school most people talk about of awakening. And we call it the school of recognition because we do believe we're already awake. We're not trying to awaken. Look at, I'm trying to awake. I put the end result of awakening. Well, that's coming from a place of I'm not awake yet. You are awake. We just need to clear away
all that keeps you asleep.
Yes, with love and joy and tenderness. And resistance will shut the portal. So if peace is your power, it's the portal to this infinite field. That's how it works. That's how frequency works, energy works. And so we just have to keep releasing all that's not true. In some of the work I've done, my shadow side can be intolerance, and you got to love your shadows.
Mine is, oh, by the way, failure. Hate it. That's why I mix and mingle in the problem solving structure, because I don't want to fail.
Right.
And it keeps me safe that if I either don't make a decision, I can't fail. Or if I have scrutinized all the different decisions to be made.
Well, then the failure wasn't me.
Nope.
It's something else that I worked it all out. But see, that is what it is to be a victim. And, just love your victimhood. I mean, I catch myself a lot, and this is why I'm getting back to what was my intolerance. And I kind of love my intolerance. It's taken me far in my life insofar as there are certain things we should not tolerate, but we need to do it with grace and understanding. And that is the higher frequency, the gift frequency, which is understanding. And it's not understanding with your head. It's understanding with your entire being, your body, of what's the truth of this situation. There is nothing to be intolerant about because everything is perfect. And the same
with the shadow of failure is there is none. And when you embrace the shadow, and each of us have several, and we all have all, we always talk about, this is the alchemy of transition. This is the alchemy of transformation. The shadow is the gold. And if we aren't aware of it, then we have nothing to transmute or to transfigure into the new state of gold. And so loving your transitions without needing to control and figure out the outcome is a superpower. It's one that we all have inherently in us because it's who we are.
Yeah. And I think I was bringing it back how this helps with your shadows. It's a buzzword. It's got a lot of stuff around it. But when we're talking about raising energy and vibration, and And so it's state of being. So when you're in a state of being of understanding, you move to this place of the word forgiveness. And I used to, growing up Catholic and everything, I'm like, forgive me for I know I'm a sinner, whatever. It's just one of the root problems why we suffer is because we think something is outside of us. And forgiveness is just giving forward everything that's not true. There's no such thing as sin. So bitch slap that. There is no such thing, because source can't see that. There's just perfection. And so you give forward everything that's not true. This whole journey is not about discovering what's true. It just is in you. The truth is, you are the truth. And so you just give forward all the little shit, all the shit vibration, right? And you do it with tenderness and love and support, and we'll take you there. What's that song? We'll take you there. I'll take you there.
But the point being is we're not going to sing to you. The thing that I love too, and then we'll kind of block it for the next topic that we want to talk about with everyone. What I love and what I'm learning is that, and this is why positive and high vibe, and maybe we'll go into this next time, is just untrue. It's like a half truth. And the state of being is so significantly important that you can't positively think your way out if you're feeling opposite.
Spiritual bypassing.
No spiritual bypassing. But more importantly, what I have fallen in love with, and I think a lot of people that I talk to just have this breath of release. The lower frequency doesn't mean bad. Higher doesn't mean good. Right?
You need the shadow. The shadow. You said the gold is a shadow. A little tweak. The gold, okay? You cannot discover the gold without the shadow. The shadow's the lead that contains the gold.
Yes.
And so shadows are just, again, if we're going to bring anything forward with the word spiritual, we're going to bring forward our humanity. Human beings are glorious, and the whole universe is transitioning now. And you were talking about transitions. A lot of people are feeling that energy, and the only way we're going to be able to transition, they say 2027 is going to be a big year, is when you just become on your journey of peace, your journey of giving forward all that's not true, your journey of power, your journey of creating a life that is on fire with your heart. And it doesn't come, we're not putting them down or anything, and I've made vision boards and done everything, but it's still, watch yourself if you're doing it. Then I will be.
Or if you're putting it up and sad because you don't have it now.
Right.
Like if what's behind
you
the thing.
You have to know you're fucking complete right now. You are what you are looking for. And when you walk into the room like that, watch the room transition, right?
Yeah.
And without judgment, you're not walking in like, you're just, there's just this tenderness for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's not tolerating. This is not what you're doing. You're not tolerating. You just are not seeing that it is doing, how do I say this? It has no power. You're not giving it any power. And so you have nothing but compassion for those that aren't seeing either. And because only love's going to transform people. And love is a fucking powerful thing. It is not your relationship type of thing.
No. God, we could have a whole topic on that too.
Oh yeah.
And we will. Okay, so with that, you guys, we hope you enjoyed this. We always enjoy this.
And on a spiritual bitch slap,
we don't give a shit if you enjoy this.
It's not my responsibility if you do it. And I hope all of you who are trying to do things, it's not your responsibility what other people do. You just keep doing you. And you need to therefore be with us so we can keep reminding you who you are.
Absolutely. So with that being said, this was the first of many. Go to our Instagram page. I'll put it in the comments. I put a link here, Spiritual Bitch Slap Co. I'm going to link it so you guys can come follow us over there. And then next week, maybe what we'll do is go on our YouTube page. I'll put all the things together because we are just ready to be visible, because we love having these conversations. We have these conversations every freaking day. And I know this is the next step in the evolution of
our transition.
Our transition. All right. Love you guys. Have a beautiful Friday, and we will see you on the next Spiritual Bitch Slap. Bye.
Bye.